Welcome to Before You Buy. Today we're going to be talking about all aspects of Heroes Online 2 that we've seen so far, and we're going to be breaking it down and finding out whether or not if it's worth spending 400 Robux on. Now, as we do know, Heroes Online 2 is coming out this Friday, but before we get into all of that, as promised in the last Heroes Online 2 video, for getting 1,000 likes, I will be buying 4 people paid access in order to play Heroes Online 2 for free. And that giveaway will be held in my Discord server about 1 hour after this video actually goes up. And if we get this video also to 1,000 likes, I'll be giving out an extra free slots on top of the slots already given during the Heroes Online 2 launch stream that will be held on Friday. So if you're new to the channel, I do suggest that you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button, because if you don't do either of those, you're not qualifying for anything. Let's get straight into it. Now, a lot of people don't actually know if Heroes Online 2 is actually going to be worth 400 Robux. Some people actually compare the pricing to games like Deep Woken, saying it's not of that quality. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have people who played the original Heroes Online and are actually kind of looking forward to playing this game and trying it out. And then you have people like me who kind of actually see the potential in the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, yes, I will admit it. Visually, Heroes Online 2 looks like a game that came out on Roblox in 2021. The VFX do not look that great, and some of it looks a bit outdated. The visuals are a little bit outdated, I won't lie. And you can clearly see from the UI that it's just like a upgraded or reskinned, basically a reused version of the original Heroes Online UI. They didn't really change it up too much. So you might be asking, bro, what are we actually paying 400 Robux for? Now, let's actually dig into that. What are we paying? Now, if you compare Heroes Online 2 to what we've seen this year on the Roblox platform, this may be as good as it gets in terms of anime game. Everything that has released this year has actually been kind of mid, or just games that have died pretty much instantly because of just how boring and lackluster they were. Even if the visuals were really good, it wasn't enough to carry the game. And yes, whilst Heroes Online 2 may have lower quality VFX to say the least, I honestly think the gameplay makes up for it. If you watch the showcase that they put on their channel, the game actually has a good amount of interactable and playable content. Now, most of the content in the game, progression wise, are more things you do once and you get out of the way, because there's no real indication of how hard things are going to be. Things such as the hero exam and the trial in order to become a villain. We don't know how hard the hero exams is going to be. And I'm not going to lie to you, it probably would be better if the hero exams were fairly hard. Something that you probably might fail your first time around doing because it's actually so hard and interactive. Because that would give a good amount of replayability to the game, players actually kind of struggling with the hero exam. And even better if it was structured like how it is in the anime, where you kind of need to fight other players. That would also be pretty cool, which would mean not everybody would be able to pass the hero exam the first time around doing it. Now, I do see how there may be problems with stuff like that, as in making players fight PvP in order to pass. But it doesn't always have to be a PvP type exam. It could be something you interact with other players with and you need to figure out some sort of puzzle or hero quest, etc. Again, we're not going to really find that out until we get to play the game itself, because we actually haven't seen in-depth gameplay in terms of that. But what we actually have seen is the quest systems that's going to be in the game. On top of there being a bunch of different quests and achievements that you can do, there are various types of quests that you can actually do that help you with your progression. One of them is actually to explore the streets with a licensed hero, and as you're exploring, there are waves of mobs that come, and the hero actually helps you defeat those mobs. Now, surface level, this may seem a little bit lackluster or pretty basic, But in a lot of games, they don't have this feature. And when you are doing escort quests, you're usually doing everything yourself. Whereas in this game, the hero you're traversing or you're escorting actually helps you defeat the mobs, which is a small feature that actually goes a long way, because we all know we hate having useless escort mission. But mostly everything in this game is pretty standard Roblox anime. Doing quests and defeating bosses. Some certain bosses have different drops that you need to probably repeat a couple of times in order to actually successfully get the drops. However, in this game, there are events that happen around the map at certain times that actually make it so that you need to compete with other players, whether it's villains or heroes, in order to capture points around the map, and the winners get rewards and things of that nature. Now, these things are pretty basic surface level, but a lot of games don't have things like this actually work in their game. It is a small thing that could actually be quite entertaining to do. This game is also going to have what I would call Overwatch-like multiplayer modes, where you get a team of different players and you hop in a game and you compete with each other in order to win, whether it's capturing some sort of objective, etc. But these game modes are actually going to be ranked, so you can gain elo and lose elo per match, and there's different rewards. Small things such as the chair that you sit in, being able to flex your high elo to other players, etc. Being able to gain custom emotes and stuff like chairs that you can actually flex other players to is something small, but there's a lot of things, but stuff like this ranked players appreciate in the long run. Even games like League of Legends, for instance, having a certain border around your player is in actuality a flex. Having certain skins that you can only get for being high elo is a flex. And over time, as more stuff and rewards come out, I'm very sure players will appreciate features like this. And honestly, the last thing I can honestly talk about here is quirks. Now, the PvP is pretty basic, your standard 5M1 combo up till dash type combat, so the PvP isn't going to be skill based from what it looks like. I'm very sure a good player and a bad player are going to be comparable, but it doesn't look too skill based. However, how entertaining and fun the quirks are in this game is probably going to be the make or break, because on surface level, this game doesn't look like it has the craziest amount of content. But considering how dry the Roblox platform has been, I do think paying 400 Robux might be worth it. Now granted, if you can't afford the 400 Robux, it is a bit upsetting, and I can understand why you may be frustrated. In fact, this actually does look like it should be a free-to-play game. But the developers have stated that this is an early alpha stage of the game and it's not complete, and they plan on updating the game weekly. And during summer of 2025, the game will be free to play for everybody. Now, summer of 2025 is quite a long way away. However, there are going to be perks and rewards that you do get for paying 400 Robux for early access that you wouldn't get if you wait for the game to become free. And then they hinted at the people who bought early access for the first Heroes Online got almost 5,000 Robux worth of in-game items essentially for free. So assuming they keep that same standard or quality to the people who pay for this game early, you might actually be looking about 5k Robux worth of in-game items just for having early access, compared to when the game comes out for free and they're not going to be giving out stuff like that. So is the game worth it? Honestly, if you can afford it, maybe. The game doesn't have the craziest gameplay features. It's not anything we haven't seen before, but again, we're in a situation where games on Roblox have been boring throughout the whole of summer, and we haven't actually had anything to play. So if you want to release some boredom, I do think Heroes Online 2 is going to be able to help with that. But if you don't feel like spending the Robux is worth it, it may be better to sit this one out. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because I will be spending the Robux for you guys to see whether or not Heroes Online 2 is worth it for myself. And also, again, if we get this to 1k likes, 3 people will be getting early access to the game for free. And judging on whether or not I end up liking this game or not, you guys can judge whether or not you want to spend your money on it. And that's really all I had to say. If you made it to the end of the video, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. I'm going to see you guys Friday for Heroes Online 2.